I like that.
Hello everyone, how's it going? My name is Puneet and today we are doing a very special version of The Coach. We are going to be doing a little improv. How's it going, Coach?
Doing good, Puneet. How you doing today? What are you going to be doing?
Well, Coach, I was thinking we could do some long-form improv. Do you know what that is?
Oh yeah, isn't that when Stefano Tsitsipas tries to win a 5-set match? Just joking. It's sort of like Whose Line It Is Anyways, right?
Sort of, but not quite. So with Whose Line Is It, you usually go about 3 to 4 minutes and you constantly get suggestions from the audience. But for long form, it's usually a lot longer, say 25 to 40 minutes.
Oh wow, that's pretty crazy. So how does it work? I just like give you a word and you go with it, or what?
Yes, exactly that's it. But before we can get started, I would need your help to help me warm up a little with a little improv game.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know your ABCs?
Oh yeah, ABC. A, B, C, D, E.
Yes, that is great. So what we'll do for our improv game is we will build a little story. But each sentence of the story would start with the next letter in the alphabet. So for example, if I were to say, Andrew went to the mall, then maybe you could say, but he forgot his wallet at home. And then maybe I could say, because he's a very forgetful guy, and so on.
Okay, I forgot my wallet before. That's a good story. Yeah.
Great. So are you ready, Coach?
Yes, I was born ready.
All right. So I will go first. A raccoon named Jimmy was hanging out in his backyard.
But he forgot to get his wallet from the house.
Because he did not have to go to work because he was not wearing pants.
Doesn't he need pants to go to work though?
Eggs were still boiling on the stove, hence he had to be late for work.
Frig, eggs were boiling on the stove.
Oh, gosh, they were still boiling. Maybe he had the wrong burner on.
What a crazy squirrel.
We were at G, sir.
Oh, G, H, oh, H, I, well, I don't know what to say next.
Jack knocked at Jimmy's door right when he was waiting for the eggs to boil.
Krusty the Clown's hilarious.
But loved every show of his.
Man, I miss The Simpsons.
Not since 2020 keeps reminding us of The Simpsons.
Oh, that guy, he goes, nope, nope.
Please, that hurts, stop.
Quickly, let's get back to the TV.
Roadrunner show is on the TV.
Stupid guy, he's crazy too.
Television people are all stupid.
You know what? We should get back outside, play some tennis.
Wicks. Do you have any wicks on you?
What's going on? Where am I?
X-ray vision is something that you need so that you know what's going around you.
Oh yeah, you should know about that. Your name's Puneet, you're a doctor.
Z's are coming in since our story is very boring.
Okay, that was hard. That's definitely took me out of my comfort zone. Really good job. I like the part we talked about The Simpsons and the X-rays.
Oh,
good job.
That was great, thank you. Thank you so much, Coach, for helping me warm up. I am ready to get started. So if you would like to give me a word and I could get started on my monologue.
Okay, how about tennis racket?
Tennis racket. So tennis reminds me of sports and it reminds me of my childhood. I was never good at sports. The only thing I was probably good at was running. And that's because one of my dogs, I think this was class 6th, he was a very notorious dog, his name was Scamper. He would get off his leash. He was very quick at sneaking out of his collar, and then he would just run off and I would have to chase him around the streets like 5 blocks down the line just to chase him. So I got really good at running, but everything else I was pretty bad at, especially hand-eye coordination. So one of these days, I was following Scamper around, and because my hand-eye coordination was so bad that when I was running after him, I thought I was going to grab him, pounce on him like Superman or He-Man. I don't know who would do that, but you get the idea, all superheroes. And I pounced onto the gutter lid, and my foot slipped into it, and I broke my foot. So anyway, the next day I went into school with a huge cast on my leg, and of course the teachers were worried because I went to a girls' school where not everybody gets hurt very frequently because girls are usually nicer and tamer and they won't be creating a lot of ruckus usually. So my teacher asked me what happened, and I was embarrassed to tell my entire class, but I went, so I was running after a dog and I fell and I broke my leg. Funny story, my teacher announced in front of the entire class, isn't it usually the other way around where dogs are chasing you and you are running for your life? So I don't know if you're familiar with this. Back home in India, we have a lot of feral stray dogs who love chasing cars and bikes and people who are running, and in general everything, like squirrels, of course. Squirrels is
Yeah.
and I know that you like squirrels because you've already mentioned
Squirrels,
that.
I love the squirrels.
So, talking about dogs, there was this one time, so I had been really obsessed with pets growing up because I didn't really have siblings growing up. So I would just bring home a few stray dogs every now and then. There was this one time I found a stray dog who was probably diseased with, he had some sort of skin disease going on. So I brought him home to feed him, and my parents walk in and they notice that I am sitting in my bed with a diseased dog, and they flip out. They wanted me to let it go, but oh no, not me. I was not gonna let it go until we got the dog fixed. So I was crying my eyes out and screaming and yelling and throwing a tantrum, rolling on the floor that unless we take that dog to the vet, I am not letting him go. But my parents would not let me touch him. So finally my parents give in to my tantrums. But they had one condition, that I'm not allowed to touch the dog while we drive down to the vet's office.
Nope.
But clever me, I found a paper bag. And I put the tiny dog in that paper bag and we carried him to the vet's office. And I think this was 20 years back, and our vet back home still remembers that story. Anyway, that was my one instance with an animal. There was one other time. I was heading for a class and it was raining, and I saw this tiny bird sitting outside of my classroom, and I wanted to take the bird inside because it seemed like the bird was hurt a little and probably injured and couldn't fly, or maybe it was just scared, or maybe it was a baby bird. I don't really remember. Anywho, so I took the bird in the class and my teacher flipped because I was not supposed to have a bird in the class, but I didn't know what to do with the bird. So I went up to my teacher and I asked him if it's okay if I put the bird at his podium for a few minutes until the class ends, and I'll take the bird back. 40 minutes of class, my professor kept looking at the bird, getting super distracted all the time. Oh my God. Then we took the bird home. Oh, that was a sad story though, because I kind of may have killed the bird because I fed it all the wrong things that the bird should not have been eating.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Anywho, next day I come back from school and the bird is gone. It's missing. So I asked my parents. Yeah, and my Sherlock Holmes brain switched on, and I asked my parents, where the heck is that bird that I got? And they told me, we took care of it, it died, don't worry about it. And you won't believe what they did to the bird to take care of the bird.
What's that?
It was sitting in the recycling
Really?
bin.
No way.
Can you believe that? Did they not know you cannot recycle a bird?
It's unbelievable.
I was so mad at them for not knowing how to recycle well. But I hope that all of you know how to recycle well. I trust you all. So I took it upon myself to take care of this organic matter. I borrowed a tiny scoop from my mother's kitchen that she uses to make me cakes. Oh my God, cakes! Remind me to tell you another story about cakes. So I borrowed her spatula and I took my tiny bird out of the recycling bin and I took it to my backyard and I started digging a tiny hole and I dug and I dug and I dug and I was crying because I was sad. I had that bird for the whole 24 hours. I was already in love with the bird. So anyhow, I gave it a proper burial, I read it a eulogy, and I made my parents just stay there and watch and look sad. So culturally, when something sad happens, we make a very specific dessert at home that's called halwa. So it's basically flour, butter, and sugar. That's it, in equal proportions. Imagine a cookie that would melt in your mouth, but it melts even before it's in your mouth. When it's on the plate, it's essentially a melted cookie. Ooh, so nice and warm. It's actually making me hungry. Oh, so I made my mother make our make our traditional dish, which was so nice. So every year now, on April 21st, we celebrate that tiny bird's death anniversary in my household. And that's not the only anniversary that we spend. There was another time that we spent an anniversary for one of my one of my dogs breaking his tooth. Funny thing, you know how dogs have canines and they're really strong teeth and they can pierce through your skin and kill an enemy and hunt and find a prey? Well, my dog wasn't very smart. So one day, it was a beautiful sunny winter morning and he was chewing on a carrot. He was chomping on a carrot, really having a good time. And then I hear a and then I look at him and his tiny tooth is stuck in that tiny carrot. It was so adorable. But my 3-year-old dog essentially became an old dog and needed a denture. It was heartbreaking. The poor thing was on a liquid diet for, I think, over a week because his mouth was so sore. So, this was so cool. So we had put him on a liquid diet. That looks nice. So we had put him on a liquid diet. So we had made some chicken soup for him because, you know, when you're sick, what does your mother tell you?
Eat some soup,
Nothing fixes you than chicken soup.
No.
So the chicken soup was very, very rich because my mother was feeling really bad about our poor pet and it was her favorite. So she was, so heartbroken. My dog it was a white fluffy dog. So when he was eating his soup, I could see him blow up like a balloon. He got fluffy while he was eating his soup.
Oh, yeah.
And then, oh my God, this reminded me of one of those episodes from Tom and Jerry.
Oh yeah, Tom, Jerry.
Yeah. You remember when Jerry would pick up a huge piece of cheese and gulp down the whole thing, and then he would be shaped like a cheese? So my dog essentially was a bowl of soup. So when he had polished off the bottom of the bowl, he just couldn't move. And that was the first time I ever learnt about food coma, because all he could do was spread his tiny little limbs and pass out on the floor for over 3 hours. At one instance, I thought that he may have fainted or died or something bad must have happened. I kept poking my dog, I kept giving him a nudge. In fact, I went outside my home, rung the bell just to get him excited.
Have a little drink here.
But oh man, he did not want to move. Which reminds me, my dog was also really good at stealing stuff. There was this one time, I had gotten a tray of eggs and I had a bunch of other groceries that I was trying to bring into the home. And I left the tray on the table. The next thing I know, my dog is sneaking around like
It's a
Pink
pretty long
Panther.
story.
I hope you remember Pink Panther.
Yeah, playing Pink Panther.
So he was sneaking around. He had gotten up on the table, opened the carton because it wasn't too complicated apparently. You do not need opposing thumbs to open up a carton apparently.
no.
He opened up the carton, grabbed an egg, but again it was very delicate. So he must have known that he had to be easy with the egg. You get that? Easy with the
Easy,
egg.
that's like a double meaning, it's sort of like a pun, okay. Yeah.
Oh, I like how smart you are, coach.
Thank you, well, I try.
So he was walking around, sneaking around with the egg in his mouth, holding it very gently because he probably wanted to hide it somewhere and then savor it later. But then I walked up on him and I yelled at him and I went, "Hey, what's happening?" And the poor thing dropped the egg and the egg broke. And then he made that sound again. The sound that he always makes when he knows that something bad has happened or if he's in trouble. Anywho, there's been a lot of stories about my dog getting into trouble. Maybe I could tell you some stories about how I got into trouble.
Oh yeah.
So I used to believe growing up that I was a very creative kid.
Okay, yeah, me too, yeah.
Yeah, but turns out not as much. We used to have these bulletin boards outside each of our classrooms, and every week there would be a running theme for the entire school, and a group of students would be asked to decorate the bulletin board based on that theme. There was this one time, it was a group of 5 kids.
In a game of tennis?
And I was put in charge because I don't know why they thought if you put the notorious kid in charge, it makes them more responsible. Did not happen. No. So I came up with this brilliant idea. The theme was Teachers' Day because it was September 5th. That's when we celebrate Teachers' Day back home in India. And I thought, how about we put up the sign upside down because that would be creatively very exciting. So I put the sign upside down, Happy Teachers' Day. My class teacher walks in and I get whacked.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Oh my God, that hurts so bad. That was actually not the first time I got beat up in school. There was this one time I was kind of pestering a really good kid in my class. I'm not very proud of that because bullying is bad. A note to self and a note to everyone outside. Never bully anyone.
No, bullying is very bad, yeah.
It is bad. It makes you weak. It makes the other person feel sad, and we don't like that, do we? No. So I was doing things that I probably shouldn't have been doing.
This is a great book.
But I made the other kid cry for some reason. I don't even remember what I said, but I imagine something not nice and probably mean. Anywho, my teacher heard me, and she grabbed a branch,
extra socks,
an
Always bring
actual
extra socks
branch from the tree, and
take care of your
whacked
feet.
me in my leg. Can you believe that?
No way, no way.
And they're not even allowed to yell at schools. There's like strict rules around it.
Yeah.
So I went home, and of course there was this huge tantrum where I was like, "Oh my God, mother, they beat me up." And then of course they were very furious because they had never even spanked me in my entire life. My parents went to the school, my grandparents went to the school, my neighbors went to the school. We actually had to hire a bus to accommodate 11 people to take to the school. And we went to the principal's office, and my parents were very furious. How dare they hit our girl, our little daughter? And I was just standing there looking very innocent as always. And then the teacher told my parents and the principal what I had actually done. And they got up and they said, "We're very sorry. Maybe you should be doing this more often because clearly we do not know how to discipline our kid." And then there was a lot of spanking in school after that. But hey, I turned out fine, right, coach?
What?
I mean, I have a job mostly. I have insurance, which is good, right? It's a good thing to have insurance, right? Because I heard if you do not have insurance, you can get into some really deep trouble. Also, I do my taxes. I have never cheated on my taxes.
Watch a little VHS tape. Yeah.
This remind. Oh, I really like the
Forehand.
VHS that you're holding. I haven't seen.
Oh, I'm still listening. It's gonna.
Sure. But this does remind me of something that I would love to tell you.
Oh, yeah.
I think this was kindergarten, and it was my
So it's gonna watch the,
school's
killer Forehand here?
25th anniversary.
Big boy too,
So we
yeah.
had this annual function event where I was supposed to play a nice Indian bride where I get married and I have to follow rules and I have to be nice and quiet. And my parents got so excited because they always knew that, for some reason when I was in kindergarten, which was 5, I had made it very clear that I do not really believe in the institution of marriage and I may not get married. So my parents wanted this fake little wedding to be an actual thing.
Xavier.
They hired
Project X,
their own personal photographer
Killer
and
Forehand, baby,
cameraman
yeah.
to bring to the school. So
Oh,
usually
sick.
you get
That's
2
awesome.
tickets per
That's awesome.
family, and then you could purchase more tickets if you have grandparents or siblings or somebody else that you'd like to bring.
Yeah.
My parents bought 2 extra tickets for the photographer and the video recording
Okay, all
person.
right, yeah.
And I don't know if you've seen cheesy Indian Bollywood movies from the 60s where
Little fan strokes.
where there's a face and there's the same face rolling around multiple times, and then they make you do things like brush your hair, put on lipstick, iron out your dress, do weird stuff for the camera. I did all of that when I was 5. But one good thing came out of it. My parents never wanted me to get married out of pressure. They only wanted me to get married if I wanted to. I dodged a bullet there. I could wait until I found somebody that I really liked. Oh, I completely forgot to tell you about that, coach. So, my partner and I,
Oh yeah.
we've been together for some time now. We completed 15 years this August. And for the anniversary gift, I actually made him a tiny trophy which says World Bravery Award. Because apparently it's really hard to put up with somebody like me. That's what I've been told.
Okay.
So my entire family invested on making that little trophy so that he could get that bravery award. Anyhow, so this reminds me of all the funny things I've done or things that have accidentally happened to me when I did not intend it to happen. This first time when I had just moved into this country. You know how important your passport is because you don't have any other form of ID
right,
and you
okay.
have to have it on your person at all
Very
times.
important, your passport.
Yep, so I was like very focused on keeping my passport safe. I put it in my bag in the bottom pocket and I was walking down to school. It was great. I go to school, I open my bag and I realize my water bottle leaked.
No way, no way.
Yep.
That's crazy.
So my passport fortunately was okay, except it did not have my picture on it anymore. No picture. And I had already made reservations. I'd already booked tickets to go visit my parents 3 months down the line.
Yeah.
And you know what takes more than 3 months? To reapply for a passport. And the tickets my parents bought, they were non-refundable. Oh, I had a heart attack. I had mini heart attacks. I had 12 heart attacks in less than 10 seconds. But, well, apparently all you had to do was fill out a form, take out a few pictures, send them your old passport without your face, send them something that could look like an ID with your face on that says that, hey, this is Puneet. This is where she was born. This is where she lives. And they give you a temporary passport so that you could go back to your own country, which was nice. The moment I landed, that was funny as well. So we'll come to the landing part later. Let's talk about when I took the flight. So usually, if you haven't noticed, Coach, I really enjoy talking. I could talk. So I was in this flight and there was this really nice lady sitting next to me, and I talked constantly for 12 hours. And when we landed, she told me, "Do you know, Puneet, that this is the first international flight that I've ever taken that I've not watched TV?" Which reminds me, my entire family thinks I am their television, their own personal cable network. So there was this one time that I was a little under the weather, so I wasn't feeling myself, and I was really low on energy, and I was quiet, and I was just sitting there. And my family goes, "It's weird. If you don't talk, the house is usually quiet. Are you missing music? I'm missing TV. We should have some noise in the background," because they were so used to hearing me. It's like Stockholm syndrome for them, because apparently my voice can torture everyone. Well, that's about the time that I was born till the time I took that horrible flight back home.
This is a really good story. Really.
I think that's it.
Oh, okay. That was really good. I really enjoyed that. Especially like that part with the bus full of people. Oh, yeah.
Oh, thank you, Coach. I'm glad you enjoyed yourself. So what do we do now?
Oh, well, we're at tennis court. We'll play some tennis.
Sure. May I serve first?
Yeah, definitely. Ladies first. Let's do it. Let's go.
Okay. Are you ready, Coach?
I was born ready. Come on, let's go. Come on, let's go.
All right, here it comes. Oh my God! Oh my God, I'm so sorry, Coach. Are you okay?
Oh, Puneet, I got another word for you. Wimbledon.
Oh, Wimbledon. That reminds me of the time when my friend got 2 free tickets for the Wimbledon from her work, because she works for this financial institute that's super fancy and gives out free tickets for sporting events. And they are usually so much fun. But we just left our hotel and it was